In a small village, a cat named Whiskers discovered a magic fish in a pond. The fish promised 3 wishes in exchange for its freedom. Whiskers wished for endless fish, a cozy bed, and a bell that rang softly. The fish granted all 3 wishes and swam away, leaving Whiskers content and purring in the Sunday, December 2023. The U.S. Air Force unveils its newest weapon, the B-21 Raider, most advanced bomber ever built. But in the shadows, something else already flies. Northrop Grumman. Decades of development, billions in taxpayer money. The B-21 is supposed to be the future. So why do some call it already obsolete? The question haunting defense forums worldwide: if the TR-3B exists, why spend billions on planes that still need wings to fly? Belgium. Hundreds of witnesses, police officers, military personnel, all reporting the same thing. A massive black triangle, silent, impossible. It didn't move like any aircraft. No sonic boom, no engine roar, just 3 lights at the corners, and 1 pulsing red glow in the center. Classified designation, TR-3B. Black budget. Officially. It doesn't exist, unofficially. It's been flying for over 30 years. The alleged technology, a mercury-based plasma ring, rotating at 50,000 RPM, creating a field that reduces mass by 89%, no wings required. If truth of physics change everything, a craft that weighs almost nothing, G-forces that would kill any pilot. Suddenly manageable. Suddenly survivable. Now compare. The B-21 Raider, flying wing design, stealth coating, jet propulsion, advanced but still bound by aerodynamics, still playing by Newton's rules. B-21, maximum speed, Mach 0.95. Combat range, 6,000 miles. Impressive for 2024, but the TR-3B, witnesses claim Mach 9. With 0 sonic signature. 2. Aircraft. 2 philosophies. 1 you can photograph at an airshow. 1 that vanishes before your camera focuses, which is the real future of air power. Pentagon budget 2024, $886 billion. But black projects, billions more. Money that never appears in any public ledger. Funding things that officially don't exist. Defense insiders whisper the truth. The B-21 is a decoy, a public-facing project to satisfy Congress. The real power, it stays hidden, always. But skeptics push back hard. Where's the proof? Blurry photos, testimonies. In an age of smartphones everywhere, why is there no clear footage? The answer believers give is chilling when something can disable electronics and radar. Your phone goes dark first, you don't. Film what you can't see coming. Area 51, Lake, Nevada Desert. The most secret airbase on Earth. Every revolutionary aircraft tested here first. What's being tested there now? U-22 SR-71 Blackbird, F-117 Nighthawk. Each was classified for decades. Each seemed impossible when revealed that the TR-3B follows the same pattern. The F-117 was photographed for years. Pentagon denied everything then. Desert Storm happened. The impossible plane was suddenly real, so here's the pattern. Deny, deny, deny. Then reveal only when something better is already flying. What's better than the TR-3B? Edgar Fouch, former defense contractor. In 1998, he broke his silence. He claimed the TR-3B was real, and he paid the price for talking. According to Fouch, 3 nuclear reactors, a magnetic field disruption. Dr. Capella, silent hovering for hours. Technology decades ahead of anything public. His career ended overnight. Security clearances, revoked, reputation destroyed. But his story? It never went away. Now let's examine the B-21 closer. Unveiled at Plant 42, Palmdale. Ceremony carefully controlled. Cameras allowed, but only certain angles. The B-21's mission? Penetrate any defense, deliver nuclear or conventional payloads, survive the most hostile airspace on Earth at least. That's what they tell us. Estimated fleet, 100 aircraft. Total program. Cost, $203 billion each plane. $700 million minimum expensive for something cutting edge. But here's what doesn't add up. If the TR-3B can do everything the B-21 does plus move at Mach 9 with 0 radar signature, Why build the B-21 at all? Possible answer 1. The TR-3B doesn't exist. It's a myth, a hoax. Wishful thinking, the B-21 is genuinely our best. Nothing to see here. Possible answer 2. The TR-3B is real, but too classified for regular. Military use, reserved only for the most critical missions. Things the public never hears about. Possible answer 3. Industrial deception build the B-21 to keep contractors employed. Keep enemies focused on conventional tech, while the real weapon stays hidden. Which answer is true? That depends on how deep the rabbit hole goes. And right now, we're just getting started. The evidence is about to get strange. Phoenix Lights. March 13, 1997. Thousands of witnesses across Arizona, a massive V-shaped craft blocking out the stars. Completely silent. Impossibly large. Governor Fife Symington saw it himself. He mocked it publicly at first. Years later, he admitted the truth. It was otherworldly. I have no explanation. The official explanation, flares. Military training exercise over the desert. Witnesses weren't convinced. Flares don't block out stars. Flares don't hover. But what if it wasn't alien? What if it was American? A test flight of something so secret even the governor wasn't briefed. The shape matches TR-3B descriptions. Perfectly. Triangular. Massive. Silent. Propulsion. Capable of hovering motionless. Then, accelerating at impossible speeds. Let's talk about propulsion. The B-21 uses Pratt & Whitney engines. Jet turbines. Conventional thrust. Loud. Hot. Detectable by infrared. The TR-3B allegedly uses something else entirely. Magnetic. Field disruption technology, a rotating plasma torus that bends gravity. No exhaust, no heat, no sound. If the plasma field works as claimed, the craft becomes nearly weightless. Conventional thrusters then move it. Easily, like pushing a balloon instead of a boulder. This would explain the impossible turns, sharp 90-degree angles at high speed, no G crushing the pilot because the craft barely has mass. The B-21, maximum J-load, limited. Pilots, still human. Bodies, still fragile. Physics still applies. Every turn calculated, every maneuver constrained. Radar, cross-section comparison, B-21, incredibly small. Size of an insect. TR-3B, allegedly 0. Not small, not reduced. Invisible, how do you achieve zero radar signature? Not stealth coding. Not angled surfaces, something that absorbs all electromagnetic energy. Or bends it around the craft entirely. This sounds like science fiction, but remember, GPS was science fiction once. Stealth aircraft were science fiction. Once today's classified is tomorrow's obvious, Lockheed Martin Skunk Works division, responsible for the SR-71, the F-117. Their motto, quick, quiet, quality. What are they building that we don't know about? Former Skunk Works director Ben Rich. Before he died, he made a statement. We already have the technology to take ET home. Then he smiled and said nothing more. Was he joking, speaking in metaphor, or revealing something classified? With men like Rich, you never know. The truth hides behind every word. Now let's examine operational use. The B-21 designed for known conflicts. China, Russia, North Korea, conventional enemies. Conventional war, the TR-3B, allegedly used for what? Reconnaissance over denied territories, rapid response, zero-footprint missions, operations that officially never happened. Imagine surveilling Tehran at 100,000 feet. No engine heat, no radar return, no diplomatic incident if caught, because you can't catch what doesn't exist. The B-21 needs runways, fuel, support crews, logistics that enemies can track. The TR-3B allegedly needs none of that. Sufficient, untraceable. Ghost. Cost comparison if TR-3B is real. Estimated development, unknown billions, but operational cost, near zero, no jet fuel, no conventional maintenance. The B-21 burns money with every flight. Fuel, parts, specialized crews. $130,000 per flight hour. Minimum Multiply that by decades of service. Here's the defense establishment's dilemma. You can't request black budget funding forever. Eventually, you need something to show Congress, the B-21. Is that something? This creates a dual-track system. Public track, B-21, known platforms. Shadow track, projects that never get named. Two air forces, one acknowledged, one not, evidence of shadow programs. Exists, unexplained line items in defense budgets, billions allocated to special programs. No details, no explanations. Just money disappearing. 2018. The Pentagon admits $21 trillion, unaccounted. Not missing, unaccounted. Enough to fund secret programs for decades. Enough to change the nature of flight itself. Let's talk about the tic-tac. Incident 2004. USS Nimitz Carrier Group, Navy pilots, encountered something impossible. It moved in ways that broke physics. Commander David Fravor saw it firsthand. No wings, no exhaust, instant acceleration. From hovering to hypersonic in seconds. He's been asking questions ever since. The Pentagon later released the footage, admitted it was real. Unknown origin. But here's the question nobody asks. What if the origin wasn't unknown, just classified? Navy pilots weren't briefed on TR-3B. Most military personnel never would be compartmentalized. Secrecy means the left hand never knows what the right is doing. This creates a terrifying possibility. American pilots encountering American craft, nearly shooting down their own secret weapons because no one told them it. Exists. It's happened before. During the Cold War, CIA assets were nearly killed by other U.S. agencies who didn't know. Secrecy is a double-edged blade. Back to the comparison. B-21, multi-role bomber. Nuclear capable. Designed to be the backbone for 50 years. A known quantity for known threats. TR-3B, single-purpose reconnaissance. Or something far more capable. If it can evade all detection, what's stopping it from carrying weapons? A craft that appears from nowhere, delivers a payload, vanishes without trace. No warning, no attribution, no proof, the perfect first-strike weapon. This would explain why it stays classified. Revealing, it changes the global balance. Every nation would want countermeasures. Better to let them think it's impossible. China is developing its own stealth bomber. The Xi'an H-2O flying wing design, conventional technology, known physics. Are they chasing the wrong target? Russia's Pact-A stealth bomber, also conventional, also flying wing. Both nations copying American public designs, missing what might fly above them. Already strategic advantage through misdirection. Let enemies focus on the B-21. Spend billions countering conventional stealth, while the real threat remains invisible. This is how empires maintain power, not just through strength but through secrets. Let the world think they understand your limits. Then prove them wrong when it matters. The Manhattan Project taught this lesson. Shenzhen workers, $2 billion in 1940s. Money. Most had no idea what they were building. Secrecy is possibly at massive scale. If nuclear weapons could be kept secret for years, across multiple sites, why couldn't anti-gravity propulsion? The template already exists. Let's address the physics objection. Anti-gravity is impossible, scientists say. But they said heavier than air flight was impossible. They said breaking the sound barrier would kill pilots. In 1900, Lord Kelvin declared there is nothing new to be discovered in physics. 8 years later, Einstein's relativity. Experts are often the most wrong. DARPA, Pentagon's research arm. They've funded impossibilities. Before internet GPS, voice recognition. Today's impossibility is tomorrow's. PHONEDARPAS, current research. Classified. But public hints emerge occasionally. Field effects. The building blocks of unconventional flight. NASA's EagleWorks laboratory, they tested an impossible EM drive. Results were controversial, marginally positive, something pushed back. Nobody knows why. If NASA, with limited black budget access, is testing unconventional propulsion publicly, what is the Air Force testing privately? With unlimited secret funding. The gap between public and classified tech, estimated at 50 years. What we see today was developed decades ago, beyond imagination. Former astronauts have spoken out. Gordon Cooper, Edgar Mitchell, Brian O'Leary, all credible, all with security clearances, all saying we're not being told everything. Mitchell walked on the moon, he later claimed. Extraterrestrial contact was real, that governments were covering up technology. A lunar astronaut, making those claims, Gordon Cooper, Mercury, and Gemini. Astronaut Dot testified before the UN about UFO sightings, described craft that moved impossibly his credibility. Beyond question, these men risked their reputations. They had nothing to gain from lies. So why speak out? Perhaps because silence felt worse. Back to our core question, B-21 or TR-3B, which is the future? The answer might be both public power and shadow. Capability, the B-21 serves diplomatic purposes. It can be shown to allies. Displayed to enemies, a visible deterrent with known specifications. Useful. For what it represents, the TR-3B, it exists, serves different purposes. Missions that can never be acknowledged, capabilities that can never be revealed. Deniable option when everything else fails. Consider a scenario. Iran develops nuclear weapons despite sanctions. Diplomatic options exhausted, military action needed, but air defenses are too strong for conventional KB-21 could penetrate with casualties. Pilots risked international condemnation. The TR-3B alternative, zero footprint, facilities destroyed. No evidence of who did it. This isn't science, fiction strategy. This is how military planners actually think. Every option calculated, every tool considered, including tools that officially don't exist. The problem with shadow weapons, no deterrent effect, if secret. Enemies don't fear what they don't know about unless strategic leaks are intentional. What if TR-3B stories are deliberate? Enough information to create doubt. Not enough to prove anything. The perfect psychological weapon. Russian and Chinese planners must wonder, what if the Americans actually have this? Can we risk our defenses being worthless? Doubt is as powerful as certainty. Meanwhile, the B-21 program continues. Test flights ongoing in California, production ramping up in multiple states. The visible machine keeps moving forward. First operational B-2 squadrons 2027 Whiteman Air Force Base, home of the B-2. A new generation taking the torch, but at least the torch we're allowed to see. The B-2 spirit was revolutionary. 20 years ago, it seemed invincible. Now, it's being retired, replaced. Outdated technology moves fast. Secrets move faster. What retires the B-21 in 2050? The aircraft designers of today are already working on its replacement. Just like they did in the 1990s. Unless the replacement already flies. Unless the TR-3B isn't the endpoint, but just one step in a longer evolution. What comes after anti? Some theorists suggest TELEPORTATION. Quantum tunneling at macro scale, not traveling through space, but past it. The physics says maybe. The technology says when this sounds absurd, but so did stealth bombers in 1960, so did precision-guided munitions in 1970. The absurd has a way of becoming routine. Let's step back to the original question. Why spend $203 billion on B-21? If the TR-3B already does more, the answer matters for every taxpayer. Possibility 1, TR-3B is fiction. Urban legend, misidentified aircraft. The money is well spent on real technology. The boring answer may be the true one. Possibility 2, TR-3B exists, but limited. Maybe only a handful were ever built. Not a replacement to supplement. Both technologies have their place. Possibility 3, TR-3B is obsolete. Now it flew in the 1990s, revolutionary then, but something newer has replaced it. The B-21 is already 2 generations behind. Possibility 4, different purposes entirely. TR-3B for reconnaissance and special OPS B-21. For conventional bombing campaigns, hammer and scalpel, both needed. The truth is likely classified, locked in vaults at Groom Lake and the Pentagon, accessible to maybe 100 people. The rest of us, we speculate, But speculation isn't pointless. It pushes for transparency. It asks uncomfortable questions. Democracy requires informed citizens. Trillions spent on defense. Citizens deserve to know. On what? Not every detail, but the broad strokes. Is our money building the real future? The paradox of black budgets. Necessary for security, dangerous for accountability. Other nations face the same questions. Russia has secret programs. China does too. Everyone hides their best capabilities. Invisible arms race continues. Perhaps that's the final answer. It doesn't matter if TR-3B is real. What matters is what comes next. The future is always classified. It isn't. The B-21 will fly its missions. It will be photographed and analyzed by foreign intelligence. Will study every detail, and they'll never know what they're missing. Somewhere in the Nevada desert tonight, something might be taking off. No flight plan, no transponder, no record it ever existed. It might fly over hostile territory, collect intelligence, complete a mission. Return before sunrise, and no one will ever. No doubt, this is the nature of black projects. They exist in the space between rumor and reality. Only decades later, if ever, the perfect secret. So when you see the B-21 at an airshows leak impressive, technological marvel, ask yourself, is this the best we have? Or just the best we're allowed to see? $203 billion for the B-21, unknown billions for what? Flies above it. The taxpayer funds both. The taxpayer knows about. 1. The debate will continue. TR-3B. Believers versus skeptics. Neither side with definitive proof. And that's exactly how they want it. Because the moment you can prove it, the advantage disappears. Secrecy is the weapon. Doubt is the ammunition. So we watch the skies, we ask questions, we keep wondering, what if they already have it? If this video made you think, hit like, share it with someone who questions. Subscribe for more military secrets explored. The truth is out there, somewhere.